I just got this watch back from service from Omega, and I just wanted to do a video to highlight what they did to it and how the process works. I sent this watch in to Omega to do their free 6-point inspection. Now that's something that they used to advertise a lot more that I do not see them talk about nearly as much. So I don't know if it's something that they're kind of phasing out, but it was in April of 2025. I was in Nashville, where I used to live. And so I had a relationship with the salespeople there, and I sent 3 watches in to have them perform the 6-point inspection. The 6-point inspection was something where they basically would check it for water resistance, open up the case, see if anything, just visually inspect it to see if it needed any service. And in the past, like I'm saying 2 years ago, 2023, 2022, I've had them do it. And they even regulated one of my watches when I sent it in one time. This time, and it was then 2 weeks was the turnaround. This time it took much longer. It was end of April that I took it in, and I didn't hear back from them about the state of the watches or even to ship back the other 2 watches until beginning of June. So it was at least 5-6 weeks. One of the other watches was this, my Aquaterra. That one and the other watch got a clean bill of health. This one, they said, it's not running. It needs a full service. That was a little bit surprised to me because it was running when I sent it in, but it needed some other things. For one, the bezel action had gotten severely compromised to the point where you could actually turn it backwards, which was not good. It was really soft. One of the main gripes, however, with this Seamaster is how hard the bezel is to turn. So it kind of made it nice. So I said, go ahead and do it. Now, one of the things they give you as an option, besides basically what they're going to do is they're going to replace any parts that are worn out in the movement. They replace the bezel ring for me, and any gaskets that are worn out, the crown or any movement. It's included in the price. Now the price has gone up in the last couple of years. 2 years ago, it was $525. It went to $700 for a regular 3-hand watch, and that's what I paid for this plus tax. But here's all the stuff that I got back. There's a couple of gaskets in there. This metal ring that you see is the bezel ring, like I mentioned. One of the crowns was replaced. I don't know which, if it's the helium valve or if it's the main crown. But yeah, they replaced this bezel ring that needed replaced. And then this gear, which I do not know, I'm not a watchmaker, but they replaced this gear. Maybe it's the internet sleuths. Tell me what this is. And then a couple of pins, like one of the pins from the bracelet, and then one of the crowns as well, plus a couple of gaskets. So it's kind of cool. They send you back those things. It's the same bezel and bezel insert. It was just the bezel ring that needed replacing. This is the crown that they replaced. So one of the optional things, however, that you can opt out of is that they polish the case. And the way it says it on the agreement that you sign is that they will polish the case and restore it as much as possible to original factory beauty standards or something like that. And I know this is controversial in the world of watch collecting because a polished case, and then with services over the years, they replace with service dials, service hands, and that kind of stuff. I know that's controversial. I understand it from the perspective of vintage watches where you want something that's period correct and it's not a hack job. For something like this, this is a ubiquitous watch. And it is an heirloom that I'll pass on to my children. And I love this watch, and it's my favorite watch in history. But like, I would love for it to look new. And that is exactly what they did. So they polished it, including the bracelet. And this bracelet I think it looks really good when polished. And then as it picks up nicks and scratches, the satin finishing gets really, really beat up. And it just kind of looks bad once it gets beat up. So it's really nice to have it nicely polished and beautiful. When I bought this watch used in 2021. The warranty card is stamped from 2007. So I don't know the history of it. That's one of the reasons I had it serviced. But right here on the lug, right on this lug right up here, was a chunk out of the lug. And you can kind of see the remnant of it. See that where the light catches it? That chunk out of the lug was there from the day I bought it. And it always bothered me because it's not like me putting it on in war or something and it's like a souvenir, a reminder of the good old days. Like, it came that way from the previous owner. And I always thought maybe I'll do a laser engraving. Well, sending it into Omega, I don't know if they laser engraved it, but they virtually got rid of it. But here's the thing with polishing. Bad polishing will leave the lines on the case soft and like not sharp. But the lines on this case are not soft whatsoever, and I cannot detect at all whatsoever if Omega, you know, what they did. It surprised me if they did laser engraving, but this is just remarkable results. And I'm very happy with it. Again, because it had its own fair share of dings and scratches from the previous owners that I did not put on there, and I'm glad to have those gone. And if I put new ones on, so be it. There was also a dent in one of these lugs, and let's see if I can zoom in here. One of these lugs, I can't remember which one now, which is so great. So I'm very pleased with the polishing that they did on it. The case back also got some polishing, because when you just set it down on the desk, the bracelet scratches up the case back, but they cleaned that up as well. It's running well. It's keeping excellent time. The bezel action is restored. See if I can even do it. My hands tend to be really dry, so it's like this is really hard for me to do. So nice clean bezel action. Nice stiff clean bezel action. I am the type of person who at some point may have the bezel insert replaced once this one fades, because I like the nice bright blue when they're new. And sure, I would probably still keep the ghost bezel as this fades. But anyway, once I gave them the go-ahead to service it, it was only like a 3-week turnaround before it was shipped back to me, all shiny and new. One thing that I was wondering and hoping that they would do is I was kind of hoping they'd replace the dial. The loom specifically on the 12 o'clock marker could be better. It's not as bright as the rest of the loom markers. I don't know if that's an indication that the loom application was kind of less than great at the beginning, or if it has to do with just aging from 2007, maybe. I don't know. That is another thing that I would consider doing, is replacing the dial. And let me just switch off this light, and maybe you can see the loom a little bit to see what I'm talking about. You can kind of even tell in this light that those two markers at the 12 o'clock are less bright than the rest of them. So that's really the only thing that I would want them to address in future services, but probably not enough to go out of my way to do it. Perhaps the next time I service it in 10 years, I'll have them do that. By that point, though, maybe I'll have passed this on to one of my kids, or who knows what. So this is just a quick recap of how the Omega service process goes, how long it takes in these days. The 6-point inspection, like I said, I initiated at a boutique, but I think you can possibly do that online. I'm not sure. ADs will do it as well, probably. Actually, you know what? An AD would probably charge you money. Although if it's under warranty, they maybe would do it. Just give it a look over for you. I recently took my Seamaster in, which is still under warranty, to my local AD, who was not a boutique, and they addressed something with the pusher free of charge, no big deal. So yeah, I would highly recommend the Omega service. Sure, it's $700, but my intent is that I won't have to do that on this watch for another 10 years. So 2035, I'm not too worried about it. I'm just excited to get this watch back, to have confidence that the bezel action is sharp and clean again, that the gaskets are good to go for water resistance, and that I can put this on and wear it in my day-to-day life without having to think twice about it. So hopefully this video is helpful. Like and subscribe to this channel if you do like my videos. And thanks so much to everyone who supports my Patreon channel. And thanks so much to everybody who watches these videos. Take care.